What's up, folks? This is Brendan Ayub from the IGN video team here with resident PC expert Charles Onyet.
Oh, hi.
And we're playing the amazing Witcher 2. Well, I call it amazing. Charles is yet to render his verdict on the final game.
It's true, and this game has been out for a little bit now, and we don't have a review on the site because we didn't get early review copies of the game. So I'm playing and reviewing it on IGN.com, which you can see on the site. But yeah, these are just initial sort of playthrough impressions.
And it's usually a little bit scary when a game we don't get it prior to release to play a final, so that we can put the review up day and date with the release. But I downloaded this on Steam on Tuesday, and I gotta tell you, man, I'm shocked at the quality. Not that I thought this game was gonna be terrible because I played the first one, I was a fan of the first one, but this game just exceeds my expectations so much, considering the pedigree of the first game, and considering the fact that this isn't coming from like a huge developer like BioWare or like, you know, anyone at Square or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people who are taking interest in The Witcher 2 are new to CD Projekt Red and aren't necessarily as familiar with them, or maybe haven't even necessarily played the first game in the series. So the whole system is new, and there's definitely some unique mechanics going on in this game that you don't find in a lot of other role-playing games. What you see right here, this is just I mean, this is like basic combat.
So it's very action RPG.
It is, and this one, it's definitely more action heavy than the first game. You can see I'm sort of targeting guys here, and just by clicking the mouse, well, assuming I can get around these dudes, there we go. And just by clicking the mouse can initiate combos. So if you time the clicks properly to attack, like when you land an attack, you can chain together hits.
Oh, okay. And you have light attacks, you've got heavy attacks, and then what I experienced when I played in the first few hours, I obviously haven't gotten as far as you've gotten, but if you aren't using all the skills at the Witcher's at his disposal, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, so I mean, if I bring up this quick menu here, these are all magical signs, and they all do different things, and then these on this side are all tools. So these are, this is a grenade, this is a trap, and so I should actually be able to put a trap on the ground here. So if I were to put this down, it basically sets this up so that, and this is something you want to do like pre-battle, or if you've stunned an enemy during battle, so that they will actually just walk into that area and set that off.
Can you set the trap off?
In that case, it will light them on fire. No, although I should be able to disarm the trap and
okay, so you pick it back up. Yeah, resource gathering, crafting, finding formulas for potions, schematics for like items and stuff like that seems to be a really big part of this game.
Yeah, and it helps you actually build these things like that you can see in this menu. And if I just go to my inventory real quick,
yeah.
Potions, enhancements, like you'll find these that give you armor buffs and stuff like that. This oil, for instance, like I can drop it on one of the swords to give it a temporary damage boost. I believe that was a damage boost. Yeah, so I got 300 seconds of something. See, bleeding.
That's
increased
so awesome.
Bleeding, sorry.
Just looking at this inventory screen, man, this is like RPG with the training wheels off. Like, I feel like this game is so deep. It's something that's been lacking in the big RPGs I've played in the past few years. Like, putting this up against Dragon Age, there's no comparison to me. This game blows it out of the water, and I've played maybe 5 or 6 hours. And I know there's a lot of people that would disagree with me on that, but it's adult. It has all these really deep customization systems, really deep crafting systems. I think the combat is more engaging. And it's just one of those games where you really have to take control of the systems to be successful. Like, if you're not using traps, if you're not using the magic, if you're not, like, you know, using all of the skills that Geralt has, like I said, you're just going to get your ass kicked, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't actually do a great job of explaining all of that to you at the start. That's something you need to learn as you go. Oh, here's something that like, I can point out real quick.
Yeah, I just saw the icon in the upper left-hand corner is blinking.
Yeah, this is a place of power. This is not, I mean, it sort of explains it, but it may not be clear to somebody who's playing. So if you hit Z...
Oh, I see, yeah, there's a little... It looks like there's a cloud of distortion or something.
Yeah, you can see some mist there. If you hit Z, you can actually see I got an additional timed buff at the top of the screen there. So that just activates that kind of thing. So but it's just another weird little wrinkle to the system that it benefits you to take advantage of that. But that you wouldn't necessarily know right off the start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fight these giant insect things.
Nasty.
Try not to get killed, but so this Quen sign is a shield that'll block some incoming damage, and then I can switch over to Yeah, and you can also see how there's sort of a time slowing effect here as I do this. So it doesn't entirely stop them, but it does give me enough time to switch over without,
quick decision
making me get killed every single time. So I switched over to my fire spell. Or wait, no, I didn't. Oh god, now I'm poisoned.
This is going downhill real fast.
Let's see if I can hit someone with this. There we go. So yeah, you can do stuff like that. There's the Ard is basically a forced pushback spell. What?
Oh, these guys are tough, man. They're ganging up on you.
Yeah, there's a lot of them there. I'm going to run away for a second just because they're totally going to kill me. So another thing to point out is that notice how my health is low. A lot of times in a role-playing game, you just be like, oh, we'll just take some potions.
Pound a health potion,
yeah, you can't really do that in this one. It's not, you don't have the like instant heal Band-Aid type of thing.
Yeah,
these guys are really persistent. I am just going to stay, I'm going to stay really far away from them because they are totally going to kill me.
Yeah, but they're persistent spiders, scorpions, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to these town walls.
Yeah, this game really requires a lot of the forethought before you go into an engagement. Like consuming potions, you're entirely vulnerable when you're drinking the potions, and you have to do it before you're in battle. You can't be in the middle of battle, then go into a corner and pound vitality potions. You have to like sit and meditate where you can craft potions.
I can show that right now too.
Okay,
so
yeah,
it's also on this menu. So you just do this and sit down, and it brings up this.
And you can't do this while you're in battle, correct?
You can do it, but if you can get hit while you're in that phase.
Okay, gotcha.
So if there's an enemy nearby and you're like this and he hits you, then you'll pop out of it. But yeah, so this is your alchemy. So all the little plants you pick up, this is what you do with them. You collect these formulas that you get from vendors and things like that and create all these potions. Clearly, I mean, this is only a small percentage of the amount of things that are available to me right now. I don't have all the money to buy all this stuff yet, but yeah, you take this stuff and you just hit a button. There's no like percentage fail or anything like that, and you create all these potions, and then you get out of here and have to go to the drink potions bar, which shows all the potions that you have in your inventory, and you just basically put them in here.
So you can drink 3 at a time?
And then you drink them. Yeah, and you can, so yeah, here we go. Drinking the potion, amazing. They spare no detail.
And I noticed the potions, like, it's not one of these little one-off, like, 30-second buff things. Like, if you drink a potion, the effects last for like 10 minutes or like 15 minutes.
You've got like a 10-minute buff, and actually if I open my character menu, this is the main skill tree. You have to start out with these little training skills here, but eventually you can, I mean, you get a talent point every time you level, and you can put it into swordsmanship, which basically makes you, a better fighter. You can do, like, these are group attacks.
Oh, nice, okay.
I think.
Whirl, yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, and then this is critical effect chance. There's some sort of group finishing move option in here somewhere. Nice. But if you wanted to increase or make the effects of potions more effective, you would dump points into this tree.
So explain to me the limitations with drinking potions.
Well, I mean, there's also a toxicity factor that you have to take into account, which again is, whoops. That passes time. That's not what I wanted to do. Which again, there's options here that like deal additional damage while poisoned, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll see when I go back out to my menu. Like now I've got 940, 939. That's the countdown for my potion duration. So now that's active, and this is the type of thing you want to do before battle because you get like regenerative effects on this. So you can't do the instant heal in a fight, but you can affect your character's regeneration to a degree that if you're fighting well and not getting hit, your health will actually come back.
I gotcha. Okay, nice.
Yeah, and you can see the little the poison bar up there as well.
Yeah, so every oh god, there he is again. Yeah, waiting for you, lying in wait at the base of a tree.
There we go.
So the toxicity level underneath your medallion in the upper left-hand corner, that slowly drains. So if you drink too many potions...
it'll go away once the potion's effects go away.
Okay, but if you drink too many potions, that goes really high. What happens if your toxicity level's really high? Can you, like, kill yourself?
I haven't gotten it super high yet. What I have done is I've been drinking a fair number of potions, and I got a random bonus, like... And I can show this, too. It should be in one of the menus. Oops.
Oh, can't meditate.
Oh, probably because I have my sword.
Spider monkey behind you.
Oh god.
Oh god. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, and I've noticed that parrying is like, I started the game off and my action gamer in me was like, all right, I got to block these incoming attacks. You can only get off like 2 good parries before you have to start evading, because it takes away from your vigor or your ability to cast spells and block and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so you can't just sit there and block
and turtle
incessantly and just be like, oh, well, I'm never going to take any damage. You really do have to be an active sort of part of the combat.
Hardcore RPG, man. I dig that so much. We just don't get enough of it these days.
Yeah.
I really hope that developers like, BioWare, for instance, I love Mass Effect, it's one of my favorite RPGs. And, I love Skyrim, but I think that those games are moving in a different direction.
We hope Skyrim comes out well.
Right. Yeah, sorry. I mean, I can't love Skyrim because I haven't played it, but...
I mean, I saw Skyrim and I think it looks totally awesome. I can't wait to play it.
Oh, totally. I'm sure it's fantastic. But I do know that they aren't going to have RPG systems that are as, like, hardcore as these, you know what I mean? I feel like this game sort of fills in a little niche that's been lacking in this current generation of RPGs. It's all about making things user friendly and streamlining the process. And this is I think an RPG noob that starts playing this game is just gonna get really frustrated with it very quickly.
This is more of an older style of role-playing game. And what's funny is that from the first game, it actually is a little bit streamlined. But in terms of the general scope, it's not streamlined to the degree that I would say Dragon Age 2 was, where this actually feels more like an adventure, whereas Dragon Age was more like, hey, you're in one city for the entire game.
Right,
basically. So it doesn't feel as much like a grand sort of adventure, whereas this, you're going places, you're exploring new areas, and it feels more like an epic quest than kind of I don't like the mayor of this town type of thing. And I was just going to go into this bar here to show off some of the mini games you can do too.
Okay, nice.
So there's all the things you can do out in the field, and then when you get out of it, obviously there's vendors to sell your stuff to, and there's also, I should be able to do some brawling down here, I believe. So there's dice. I could play dice with these guys, but that's super boring to watch, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, let's not do that. Nice little...
So I'm going to skip right by these conversations. This is normally not what I do. This is in the interest of time, so that you don't have to sit here and watch this guy.
So dialogue trees, a la BioWare game, right?
Yeah. So you get these little basic things, and some of the quests, and it's difficult to show in videos like this, but some of the quest structures are actually very creative, and it's easy to sort of fail out of things, and you get a lot of really interesting decision points.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just going to punch people.
Nice.
Let's do this.
Idea. There's a brothel around here too, you were saying, right?
There is. There's a door in the side wall that goes into a brothel.
Now I know you start off with you're in a relationship, but can you go to the brothel and
Yes.
Oh, nice, awesome. Yeah, well that's the thing.
You can do that. I don't know if that has long-term effects on your relationship. The character's name is Triss, who's your love interest in the game from the beginning. Here we go. But yeah, so this is just basically
like a QTE, right?
Yeah, it's a quick time event sequence. So I'm just following the commands on screen. It's cool animations and stuff like that, and it's just a nice kind of extra for a money-making thing. Yeah, that guy definitely just punched him directly in the face.
Awesome. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, this game, another thing I appreciate about it is that it's very adult. It handles these themes of sexuality and violence and politics. It handles them in a way that's very mature,
Yeah, it's not a censored game, and it doesn't make a huge deal about sex and violence and that kind of thing. It's just part of the game world. It's just
as soon as you start off, it's you get full frontal nudity of the main heroine of the game. You're like, oh, okay, well, this is interesting.
Yeah, and that's not something you see a lot, especially I think coming out of American studios, where people are just sort of a little more timid to show that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That it is refreshing to see that and be like, oh, well, we can have adult content in our video games as well.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to act like we're just trying to appeal to 13-year-olds. Let's make an RPG for some adults.
Yeah, it is an adult game, and I'm just advancing the time here real quick so I can go talk to my crafter buddy who is up in the northern area of town here.
So does the game sort of take the leash off, and you can sort of Oblivion style go anywhere you want, take quests wherever you want, or is it fairly more linear?
It seems fairly linear in its overall progression. This town is open, so if I bring up my map screen, this is the actual town where all the vendors are and stuff, and then you can quest. There are special questing locations all around here.
Okay.
Hidden throughout this forest area. I don't know where it goes from here. I haven't gotten past this town yet.
Okay.
I'm further along than this save here, and I have a totally sweet set of armor that I've created for myself out of the first major boss, which was actually a really challenging encounter. I'm just going to talk to this guy, and he will actually craft things for me. This is how you get a majority of the new items in the game. So at this point, this save that I'm at here, I don't have much that's really very interesting, but you'll get oils that you can put on. Well, this oil I think is actually a crafting component. So yeah, it is. So you can craft components and then use those components to make better things. So it's almost MMO-like in that sense. So when you go around, you loot corpses, you loot stuff in the environment. You really want to hold on to all that. And you do have a weight limit too, which has been sort of annoying so far because I haven't found a way to actually stash items. So once you hit the limit, it's like, well, I don't want to sell all this stuff because I might want to build some things with it. I don't know where to put that. And there may be something in the game that I just haven't found yet.
Yeah, like an item box or something?
Yeah, but I've not discovered it yet. Also, as we're talking about mature sensibilities, here you go. These people are just sort of hanging here in the middle of town.
Do the corpses rot over time? Like
no, I haven't noticed any change in the corpses since that happened. But yeah, I mean, everyone else is just kind of hanging out, you know, whatever.
So to craft items, you can obviously make potions yourself from things you find in the environment.
Yeah.
Is there just loot in the environment, like random swords and armor that you can pick up, or is it all about like crafting new armor and swords?
You will find some things in the environment, but what I've found so far through playing is that the best stuff, if you really want to upgrade your gear, you have to craft it.
Okay, gotcha. And you have to go to this blacksmith or whatever to craft the new items. You can't do it yourself.
I've found some pretty good steel swords, and the steel sword is used against humanoids, whereas the silver swords are for monsters.
Okay,
but for the better silver swords, they have been crafted, and for the better armor pieces and stuff like that, those have been crafted.
Okay.
And I actually got one suit of armor off of a boss who I can show right now. I'm not going to show the entire boss encounter.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Just because that would be major spoilers. But this is, and if you don't want to watch this, then you don't have to. I would recommend tuning out. But yeah, I'm just going to load this save here, which is right at the beginning of this encounter. And
no
this
story spoilers, just a look at the boss.
And yeah, actually, if characters start talking, I will speed right by it.
Yeah.
But this is just sort of a little intro of what happens here. And I mean, I love this game's graphics. Yeah, like the graphical style too is just really cool. I love the lighting effects.
Foxy medieval chicks following you everywhere.
I was having some issues with performance when I first loaded this up, and it involved installing NVIDIA's beta drivers because I was using one of their cards. But it's fixed now. It's running very well. And it seems to scale pretty well too, although I can't say if everyone's experience with performance is going to be around the same way, but I was able to get it running very smoothly.
Yeah, I've got it running pretty well on my computer. I can't do ultra settings, but high settings I get like 60 frames per second. Yeah. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
All right, I am going to skip.
Yeah, let's go. Holy cow.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the boss.
That's like the Guardian of the Lake in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he basically just came directly out.
Oh my god!
So this guy is significantly bigger than anything else faced in the game prior to this. And I will say, when I was fighting this guy initially, it took me a lot of retries.
And you've actually killed this thing.
I have. I'm beyond this point now.
But yeah. I think I saw this in an E3 video.
Yeah, the CD Projekt has. Oh god. CD Projekt has shown this off before. There we go. I needed my armor spell.
I'd imagine you're going off the gigantic orange pustules.
Yes, they do make in typical video game boss fashion.
It's like Lost Planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll stop it there, mostly because I'm doing terribly, and also because I don't want to spoil the entire rest. Hey, I died. How appropriate.
Exactly. Well, let's not spoil it anymore. The game looks fantastic. We're going to have more coverage of The Witcher 2 in the days leading up to the review. Charles, thanks so much for walking us through some of the basics. I'm stoked about this game, and
I mean, if you want to check out ongoing updates, you can just head over to IGN.com. It's on the PC channel, and I'll be updating a review in progress over the next week or so until a final review shows up on the site.
I can't wait to read it. Thanks a lot, man.